Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is mid-July and we are still in the World Watercolor Month. Is it called that? I think so. It takes place in July. So go to Doodle Wash if you want the prompts. I'm not following the prompts. I'm just working with intentionally only watercolor in a journal for this month. So I've picked up this leather-bound really yummy book inspired after watching a stream from Janet M. Young when she was making her own leather books by using this binding. So yeah, that really made me dig out these. I got quite a collection of these tiny books, but because she inspired me to, you know, finally jump into one book for this one project for this 1 month, I have dedicated all painting with watercolors to be done with this really fancy palette that she has built herself and filled up with 36 Mission Gold paints. Mission Gold is like really awesome paint. Don't you just love how glossy it looks? So even though that you used it a lot, it just is so glossy and nice and neat to look at. And I am just inspired whenever I picked up this palette. Does it sound stupid? I just feel inspired when I look at it, when I open it, and then yeah, it just sparks joy to the whole process. But I'm not like painting so much. I am more decorating edges and borders, and I know that's not like, you know, like watercolor painting, but that's a different way of using your watercolors. So I've jazzed up some of the pages with metal ephemeras. Can I get the camera a little bit closer down? I think so. And it's just glued in and then decorated with some stickles. It was gifted to me by CB, so it's special. And this was the first, by mistake, upside down page. And that's a bad thing about making borders. You kind of get confused when you're flipping your book upside down to make the borders. So when you just go in like spontaneously to draw or write on the page, you might not be flipped on the right side up. But I was just feeling so stupid because this is like the first page. How could I not notice that I was not on this skinny flap here when I started? No answer to that. So I'm just flipping like a little bit fast through the book so far, and then I'm gonna stop where I made it at my last stream. I think it was around here, right? Yeah, this one was only like decorated in the border, and then I journaled in it, because there is this craft shop here in Denmark that's got this awesome summer sale every year, and it's like a genuine sale, you know, where you can save up to 50 and 70%, because they're literally just selling out of stock to make space for new things. So I went in there, and then I got some Van Gogh oil tubes for 10 Danish kroner for one tube, and that's like really, really cheap. This is one of them. I think it's, what is it, like $1.30 or something for one tube. So I got some of those. Then I got a set of Jelly Roll pens. I think you all know them, those Jelly Roll, black, silver, white. And then I got some Sharpie knockoffs. They look a little bit like Sharpie pens, like, you know, here is the original Sharpie, and it's still an alcohol-based marker, but it's cool because I use these Sharpies a lot with, you know, when I'm working. So yeah, it's just, but I was kind of disappointed because I think I got late to the sale. Everything was totally ripped. Empty shelves really give you a fear of FOMO, you know, like, oh, I missed out some good deals. But it's okay, maybe next year. Then I had this page decorated, but I glued in some leaves, and it's exciting to see how are the leaves holding up. As you can see, this is starting to not deteriorate, but getting like brown, like this one is still looking just as it was glued in yesterday. So I'm wondering what's the difference between those two leaves. Is it that this one is not totally covered with matte medium, because these ones were? So that might make a difference. Oxygen are able to get through to this. So just makes me ponder, you know, what's on the back side? Nothing. I was just thinking oxygen also could get through the back side of the page. So next time I'm going to glue in leaves, I will make like a thick coat first on the page, let it dry, and then attach the leaves and full coverage. I don't know. Okay, but this page is actually yeah, it's cute. What I do in my journals is that I write things that are just a little bit lame to some, but fun to me because I remember the moment. My hubby, he is the proud owner of a new T-shirt with a Star Wars Death Star on the tummy of it. And then the reason why he got it was because it reminds me of when he was younger. He had in Lego that huge round Death Star, and it took like a zillion hours to assemble. And then it's just something we have been, you know, like you know, it's a thing for him. So he bought this T-shirt, and he said that the cool thing about this T-shirt is that it got like these 3D built-in elements where the globe looks round when you wear it. It's a joke, right? Because, you know, if you got a little bit of tummy, then it pops out round. So it was kind of funny. I wanted to put it there. Speaking about him, he turned 50 this month. So last stream I showed that I just had made the circles with the watercolors, and the gold is added on by this set I got from Van Gogh, where I'm using these 4 pans. And then I just wrote his name and then 50 years. This cute page, I utilized some ephemeras shipped to me from CB, the envelope, and these die cuts. And then it's just, I mean, it looks so luxurious in a leather book to have this as golden embellished things. So it inspired me to jazz up the book with metal hardware. So that's why you can see that I got some places where, compared to last stream, I have added in some, where else? I tried to add in some metal ephemeras, because I think, you know, it just goes well with that leather-bound book to have these things. So, yeah. This is some oranges. It's a very easy way of killing time if you want to, you know, use watercolor, don't really know what you want to paint, and then you can paint these in lemons, or I don't know, grapefruit or oranges. It's just so relaxing and therapeutic for me to do spreads like this. So yeah. Oh my god, this page. Okay, this page requires some talking because it was, yeah. I think I'm gonna wait with telling the story of this, or should I just get over it? Okay. It's 9:30 at night, right? Like evening. And my hubby and my son had been out surfing early on the day, so they took like an early night in and went to bed. And I'm the only one awake in the house, and there's just like one room where the light is lit because I'm watching something on Netflix. And then it rings on the door, and I'm like, who the hell is... It's like, I don't know, I think I'm getting old. I think I'm getting old because I think it's too late when someone will ring on my door at 9:30 at evening. Okay, that's where it starts. Okay, And then I go out, and then it's a lady to a woman who lives 3 houses down the street from my house. She doesn't really introduce herself, and I don't recall her name, so it's so strange. We don't talk, you know, so in a way you could say she's a stranger. So the way that she just approached was just so awkward. She don't introduce herself like hello, sorry I wake you up, and her agenda is that she's making some homemade lemonade, and then she needs, let me look up on the dictionary what it's called. Okay, good things that I did. It's called elderberry lemonade, homemade, you know, and we got a bush with elderberries in the backyard. So she just rings on the door, and I got arthritis in my ankles that's like flaring up, so it takes me eons to, you know, walk to the door, and she can see me through the glass window. And immediately I'm just thinking, who is she? What does she want? And then I open the door, and then she says, I can see that you got elderberries. Come. And then she starts walking like she want to show me or something, and I get like a little bit suspicious, thinking, what the hell is going on? So she drags me around my property to my backyard and points out a bush I got with flowering elderberries. And then she gets to the point. She's telling, well, I'm making some homemade lemonades, and I just need some branches of flowers to do so, but I can't reach them because the gate is locked with the you know, we have a lock on the hinge. And then I'm like, oh my God, while I was in the house, she actually went on my property around my house and discovered that we keep a lock on a certain part of our backyard, so she couldn't reach the elderberry bushes. Isn't that spooky? Okay, so it's just totally awkward, you know, and I feel like jumped on, like my mind is going like 1,000 kilometers, like how the hell does she even know that I got this bush? You can't even see it from the road. You can only see it if you enter my property and go to the back of my house. So it kind of pisses me off a little bit, you know, but I don't want to ask her directly because, like I said, it seems to me like she's a stranger, and then I know that she's not, because she's living 3 houses down the road. Okay, so I tell her, well, I have to go in and get the keys to unlock the lock. So I start walking, and I walk so slowly, you know. And she just stands there. She doesn't walk with me up to the house. You know, it's just weird, you know, leaving her down there in the backyard. So I like Quasimodo, stumbling back to my house and hurry back. And then I open up the gate, and then I try to tell her, don't take everything, because I really like the way you know, the scent of the blooming elderberries when I open my kitchen window is just nice, you know. Plus, I also hang dry, if we are washing beddings and sheets and stuff, it's hanging to dry in that part of my backyard, so the sheets kind of pick up the scents from blooming elderberries. So I was like really disappointing to see her harvesting everything on my poor bush. She shaved my bush, I'm telling you, and I was just standing there watching, thinking, I am such a whoosh, you know, that I don't stop her or say anything. But I think she just caught me off guard. Okay, now it becomes like really weird. We have to walk together out of my property, you know, walking her out, or what's it called. And in doing so, we are passing this wall. Me and my hubby got this wall in the backyard where you can create big things with spray cans. Like you can see here, it's a freaking big wall, and it's taller than a human. And you have to wear respiratory masks because you're dealing with aerosol spray cans. Anyway, yeah, this is a picture of the mask. And the reason why I'm talking about this mask is because the second we're passing this wall, she starts talking about, and she calls it a creative wall. She's like, oh, you got a creative wall, how cool, because she just knows that her kids would love to come and play on that wall. And then I'm like, what? And then starts this freaking discussion. In her mind, it's a creative wall where she's surprised that I said no to letting her kids go bananas with spray cans in my backyard. And I tried to tell her, no, I think it's a genuine bad idea to let kids, because I know her kids about 3 or 7 or 5 or something. That's small, you know. And I tried to tell her at first as a punch argument, like, no, it's a bad idea because spray cans are not for kids, and second of all, we are wearing respiratory masks when we are using them, and those masks are for adults. So I don't even think that they can fit on the face muscle of a kid, you know. And then she's not convinced, and then I had to go even further, saying that, you know what, spray cans are seriously not for kids, because if you turn them the wrong way and the nozzle points towards your eyes, you can actually spray yourself in the eyes. I mean, it's not something that I would feel safe to let kids just fool around and go bananas with, you know? And then she's starting getting a little bit mean. She's saying stuff like, I just think that it's a shame to know that you are the owner of a creative wall and you are denying the pleasure of kids on this road to have a creative outlet. And I'm like, what? And then I don't even know how I got it woven in, but then I weave into the discussion that, excuse me, but this is not like, what is it called in English? I have to look up that word. Okay, is it true it's called a collective housing, like a hippie thing, you know, where 5 families are sharing one property, and it's like really like communism where everything you own is for the community, like people have the right to use everyone's property without asking permission. I don't know if I got the right translation. But I kind of got woven into the discussion that, no, just because we at our end of the road got this wall doesn't mean that it's like a present to the whole road and the kids. And no way is she going to send her kids over in my yard to go crazy on my wall, because I'm just not having it, you know. And then we split up with this crazy, picture. She's standing with a basket in her hand where she just totally shaved off every elderberry in bloom that I owe, while she is discontent, like disgusted that I am so antisocial that I won't let kids, like tiny, small, sweet kids, come and play in my backyard. That's how we split up. So I go back into the house, and then I sit for like 15 minutes, and then I get an urge to wake up my husband. I needed to talk with him about it. So I wake him up, and then I say, oh my God, did I handle this wrong? I just feel that I crossed edges with this woman down the road, and she was so unable to disguise her disgust over my, because I took a stand, you know. It was just so visible on her face that she was like so disappointed. So, and then my hubby just woke up, and he's like totally dizzy, and then he's like, no, what the hell are you talking about? Spray cans are not for kids. And by the way, who was going to replace if they spray on our house? You know, like it would just be a Peter if some of the paint went on our house, or you know what I mean. So yeah, I had to get it out in my journal, and then I used the die cuts from CB of a witch and a cat, because that's exactly how she made me feel. She made me feel like this witch that hate kids and can't spare kids having fun or joy. But yeah, there's always something. I mean, even though if I try to stay low on this road, because we're using a house to run our business, so I really have to keep a low profile, because I know it's annoying for them that trucks are coming and delivering stuff and, customers and stuff like that. But even though I'm flying under the radar, I still get into issues. Isn't it amazing? Okay, but the whole talk about her making lemonade made me even like, oh damn, I wish that she didn't harvest everything on my bush, because I would love to try and make it myself. But instead I made lemonade out of lemons. So I just took the recipe for that. Okay, 2 days after, at exactly the same time, 9:30 in the evening, but luckily this time my hubby is up. It's her. She's coming back. And in her hand, she's got this jar of this elderberry lemonade that she made by using some of the flowers from our backyard. But the way she hands it over is with this sentence. She's saying something like, her husband told her that she should go and deliver this, so here you are. How strange is that? But it's like, that's what my son would say when he was little, if he messed up and I told him to go apologize. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So and I think me and my hubby thought the exact same thing when she said it, because I could just see in his eyes like, this is hilarious. So we closed the door, say thank you, and oh how delicious. Watch her walk out of our property, and then my hubby turns to me saying, you be the tester and drink the first glass, because we don't know if there's like poison inside. So that's why I had to dig out on my metal ephemeras and find a Tim Holtz Halloween potion tag for this drawing right here. But isn't that strange? That is so strange. Maybe it's all in my head, but I don't know. Okay, this spread right here is about, it is so hot. Even in nighttime, we got those really hot temperatures, so it's tough to sleep. So I just love around 10 or 11 in the evening after a hot day. You can feel that breeze of colder temperatures coming in when you're opening, your windows. So the cool summer evenings, summer nights is what this drawing is about. Okay, this one. I really did a lot about this one. My want monster woke up because I saw on YouTube, not on YouTube, was it Facebook? I think there was a commercial on Facebook for a Monty Python silly walk clock. Oh my god, I love that watch. Monty Python got this sketch about this guy who works in the Ministry of Silly Walks. So they did a clock where the hands of the clocks is his legs, so you can just see him do silly stuff when time passes by. So of course I had to make this journal spread about this watch, so I really took the time to do the clock and the legs and everything, and then I glued in a ton of gears because it reminds me of watches, So far this is the favorite spread of the whole book. But oh my god, I want this clock. It could be so hilarious to have, yeah. And then I was cleaning up some stuff, some ribbons, and then I tripped over these tiny envelopes that I have. And then I noticed that there is hair inside of them. And then I suddenly realized, I remember this. My son went to the hairdresser, and then I picked up, you know, he was, before they shook the cloth that he was wearing to protect his clothes from hair, I grabbed some of his hair and stuffed it into these envelopes, and I got several stuff like this just lying around, not attached to anything, so I just glued it in here, so now it belongs to this book. And yesterday, Lindsay the Frugal Crafter is also doing the World of Watercolor Month 2021, and her prompt, she's following the Doodle Wash prompt list, and her prompt was this. So she made a live stream, and I was just, you know, painting along. It's not as fancy as hers. You can see it on her channel. She's doing a really good job on Arches watercolor paper. But what I loved about her drawing is that I had an opportunity to use my new white jelly rollers to see how it works, and it actually does work, and I like the way to apply this compared to Sharpies. So yeah, I know that a lot of people has been using this exact pen on top of watercolor drawings for eons. I don't know why I'm so late to the game. I usually use Sharpies that are white, but they kind of pick up the pigments from underneath, so I have to apply it 2 or 3 times. This is like one application, and it doesn't even get contaminated from the watercolors underneath. So now I kind of understand. I kind of understand why you guys like these white gel pens. This page is what I'm working on this stream, and there's going to be something special on it, so I'll just wait a second with that, because before I do so, I went and got this book because I wanted to show you that humongous wall I was talking about, so you kind of get the picture of, you know, like, oh my god, can you imagine having kids? And look how close it is to our house, our actual house. This is our actual house. So I don't want kids to contaminate our tile work here or the house itself. No, it's just a bad idea. But anyway, grabbing this book really made me be irritated at this closure. So I think now I'm gonna do something about it. What can be done? What happened is that they sold this book that is like too thick, so when you start working in it, it doesn't take long before, whoops, naked God. It doesn't take long before you are unable to use the closing mechanism on this, could we call it leather flap? It just fits so snug when it's brand new. And look, I haven't even made so much of an alligator mouth. So I'm thinking, oh, that's nice to have these white pages, or whatever that is. I'm thinking that I would be brave and then just pick a signature stop, like here, and use signature. How is it bound? Let me try and figure out if there is like a front and a back to these signatures. Like right here there is a division between the signatures. Oh man, I'm simply gonna cut it off. I'm cutting it down. I'm tired of it. And then I think I will place the book that's filled out so far in my junk journal or something, or find a different book for it. Okay, no need for you guys with skinny nerves to see me do this on stream, so should I just okay, I'm gonna do it off stream. Oh, this is much better, much better. Oh, I got these sticker sheets. It's just tiny word sheets, fun to use in a book like this. It comes with 2 elastic inserts, 1, 2, so I just slid it in, and now I can actually close it. Look, now I can really enjoy the beautiful layout of this book when it's closed. I'm so glad that I did it. It actually comes with a cute lock. This thing here was a gift from my hubby on his last birthday, or the year before, maybe. I don't know. It feels like I have had it for a long time. But maybe it was last year, I don't know. And I thought that, oh my god, he's gonna love this because it's so masculine. But it turns out that it's not really his style, so he returned it back to me saying that I think you enjoy this much more than I do, so you should just, you know, keep it. But it comes with this lock, and okay, I have to say I was so happy when he said that I could just keep it because I really think it's super cool. Oh man, how does it even work? Okay, I'm not gonna fuss with this on this stream, but it's a lock where you can push out this part here. Oh, I feel that I'm pushing with force and it doesn't feel well. You know what I mean? Okay. And then it can slide into the hole that's in this closure mechanism, so it can hang like this. And then you're unable to open up the book. Cool, huh? But look how beautiful it looks now when you can see it in a closed, what's it called? When it's closed. Much better, much better. And like I said, the thing that I just yanked out, I'm just gonna put it into my junk journal. This is my junk journal. I think I'm just gonna slide it in there somehow. Yeah. That's gonna work. Oh, I forgot that I also bought, when I was in that sale at that craft store, this watercolor set. It was set down, I think it was 70%, so I only paid $4.50 for this palette. And I knew that at that price I cannot expect something like really fancy. But for the tin itself, I would love to just buy this set just to get the tin and the pans. So yeah, I got it. And then I tried it, and because it's Watercolor Month, I think it's okay to just talk a little bit about this kind of paint. I've heard about it. I've seen people reviewing inexpensive, could we call it like hobby paint, on the channels, talking about it's got this gelatin feel to it when it's wet. I never had tried that kind of paint before, so it was the first for me. And I really have to say they're quite true. When you wet it, it becomes like gelatin. When you wet it and you use it, you don't really detect it, but as soon as the water has been in the pan for about 4 or 5 minutes, it's starting to dilute. I think the binder, it must be made out of something like fish oil or something. It's diluting the binder, giving it a gelatin like syrup consistent. And the annoying part is that it's impossible for you to make a saturated mass tone and make a nice wash, if you know what I mean. Like when you're painting with syrup consistence, your washes just becomes not pretty to look at. So I really tried with some. I had to mix in, see how they mix together. I was doing my best to do a fine wash. I even took a flat brush to do it so, and I had to struggle to make an even flat wash with this paint. So, I mean, oh my god, look at this. I mean, this is just, look at the ochre, how opaque it is. You can really see the way that it's striping. It's like, what's the word for it? When it feels sticky. So I did try and just do some wet and wet mixing on the paper, seeing if that was better. And I think it works the best when you do mixing directly on the paper with globs of paint introduced into a wet paper surface. So I try to just work with the paint and try to my very best not to get that striation and that gloopiness when it's made, but it was a struggle. Oh my god, it was a struggle. I think it's because I'm used to paint that doesn't have that effect that I was annoyed about it. But while I was so I was going after this look, you know, so now I can understand why it's a hurdle if you're new to watercolor and you get the wrong set and you want something like this, because I really had to struggle. I mean, so yeah. But other than that, $4.50 for a metal tin that I can decorate with alcohol inks is just worth the money. So I got no regrets. And finally, back to my Watercolor Month book. Like I said, I got one page that I need to work on, and I wanted to do it on this kind of upload today, so you can see me paint. One monster woke up once more, and this time it was not something that I needed to go purchase. It was something that was in the house. I think I told you guys that I work from home. I got an online store where I sell DVDs, and it's very rare that I buy an item for the stock that I fall in love with, and I need to own it myself, so I have to open and use it. It's very, very rare. The last time it happened was when my son, you know, young kids, like teenagers, suddenly standing in the doorway saying that they got invited to this party and the dress code was a funny tie. So I had to go down and wreck open a South Park limited edition set where there was a t-shirt and then this tie. So that's the last time that I had to go down in my shop and take some things until this arrived. Oh my god. It's a limited edition for Big Lebowski. It comes with a Blu-ray and then some fun things. And a lot of movies are actually sold with merchandise in limited edition boxes, and they're usually something that really collectors like to get their hands on, so it's a shame to wreck it up just because you want one item inside of one of these. I was so close with a Mr. Bean set we got, where they had a miniature of the teddy, you know, the bear. Oh, but okay. When I saw this set, and I can just show you what it comes with, I walked around it for like 2 days trying to talk myself out of opening it. It arrives in this box, and I am a fan of everything going on in Big Lebowski. I mean, that's just one hilarious, funny, epic movie. It comes with a bowling ball, a rock, the infamous dude's rock, a slip over of the dude's sweater, and then most interesting, a bowling bag in leather. When I saw that bag through that box, I was like, oh, I got to have it. So I opened it, and this is the bag. I mean, oh, it is just so freaking cool. It's leather, and because it's got this shape where you can have a bowling ball inside. Okay, inside was this bowling ball that you can use as a, like, for your pens if you want to. You can hold 3 pens. I don't really know what to use that for. But I did know exactly what to use the dude sweater for. I simply just slipped it over one of my paper blanks journal. How hilarious is this? Especially if you, like me, is a big Lebowski fan to begin with, right? But okay, I looked at this bowling bag and immediately knew that it would be so awesome to have it for like a traveling set or something, because it can house a ton. The shape of the bag itself, I mean, it just houses a lot. There's a lot of space in this. The bottom is so wide that things can totally stack up inside the bag, and it doesn't even look like it's stuffed to the brim. I mean, you're still able to close it and put your hands down here and mess around looking for things. But so far what I got inside this bag is like, every item is a thing that I like. Sparks joy to my heart. I got my Pusheen pen case, the one with the gold interior inside. And then of course I stuffed it with some of my favorite pens and Pitt pens from Faber-Castell. Then I got my own homemade watercolor palette. I open it up like this, and then I have a homemade do-it-yourself watercolor palette. And then I need to use this swatch sheet. It doesn't take long before they're used up, so I'm still working on using that one up. I really like working on the Paul Rubens rough, what's it called, cold press watercolor paper in this. It's a block actually, so like it. And then it fits also the square Arteza 6 by 6 inches. And then I got this sketchbook from Janet M. Young. She's very generous, as you can hear. Whoops, so I scrapbooked this fancy holder for this because I realized the paper inside this tiny book is actually extremely nice to work with. It got tooth, so using graphite on top of it is just yummy, and watercolor got hills and valleys to land in, so it kind of looks like faux granulation when you work on paper like that. So thumbs up for this choice of small books. Oh, I am sorry if you could hear that in the background. That was my hobby. CSGO is having a tournament, so there's noise in my house at the moment. Danish team playing against team from Norway, so there's a bit of activity going on in the background. But anyway, oh my god, this bag just sparks joy, and I'm not going to walk around town with this, you know. I'm mostly just going into the garden. But oh, I just feel like ta-da when I'm grabbing it. I just love it. Of course it had to be white. That's just the bad thing of it, because now it's pristine, it's new, so it's totally nice, but with time it will be torn, like worn down, and maybe get some you know, dirty marks on it. But so far I'm freaking loving it. So somehow I want to make a journal spread about the want monster torturing me for very many hours to open a limited edition box set that could have pleased a customer who is collecting. And now it went to my stash. So I was thinking about painting this. I did a rough sketch of it, just to get to know the shape of it. And I'm thinking I want to make a sketch somehow on this page, maybe here, And then here I can maybe tear out some from this packaging so I can remember the set that they came with, because I also want to remember that I dressed up one of my paper black notebooks with the sweater from the dude. So now I'm thinking maybe I got place for both. Maybe I could like sketch the back here and then the journal with the sweater on here. That would be a good plan. Let me think. Okay, so I just refreshed my memory. I think I am lying a little bit when I say that I don't normally rig up limited edition sets for the free merchandising side. I did it with Godfather to get this Zippo lighter. It is so awesome. It was I think it was a 40-year anniversary limited edition set. And it came with so much extra, like booklets and yada yada yada, but I was only interested in this lighter. And I also have destroyed Indiana Jones Livid Collection box set because I wanted the pen set inside. It comes with a fountain pen and then just a regular ballpoint pen. And it's in really, really good quality. It's like super heavy, and this is real wood. And then there's burned in the wood the Indiana Jones logo, and just the casing itself is I don't know, just very special. And then I also raked open a Twilight Saga set because it had the jewelry that Bella was wearing during her wedding. Bella is a character in the series, so it had this piece of hair. Jewelry is it called? And I haven't even used it, but I don't know. Yeah, so I guess that I have nicked stuff from the store from time to time just to please a want monster. But okay, I'm pretty determined that here I'm gonna make the back. And then, maybe the book here, because the back was the one that really intrigued me, or woke up the want monster. So, I'm just gonna sketch the back in, leaving some space on top so I can write a little bit about what it is that I'm sketching, because when I open this book, if I ever do that in several years to come, I probably would think, what the hell is that triggering my want monster? And maybe I have forgotten all about this yummy leather bowling bag. The shape of the bag, because it's like wider in the bottom than in the top, really makes it hold a ton of stuff. So in case that you're looking for a shape to carry art supplies with, I can totally recommend those shapes where you got like a wide bottom where things can just be stacked up, because they somehow is easier to dig in and find things in just a regular sized shaped bag. I think the pattern on front of it reminds me of Atari, a Japanese manga film, but I could be wrong. Okay, that's the bag, and now for the journal. Oh my god, it is so funny. I really enjoy the movie The Big Lebowski. There are so many funny scenes in it. The Coen brothers, they usually use the same actors for most of their films. If you have noticed that, the small, is it called a side role? No, it's not. That's in Danish. Not the main characters, but statistics? No. Oh my god, I don't even know how. What's it called? Extra. Is it called an extra? Some of the extras, you can recognize them from other Coen movies. So I picture that they are like a family. Like once you're in, you're just in for forever. And I like that about the way of being, a director. Okay, this pattern that the sweater the dude have is just really likable for this journal because I am working with borders, so I kind of feel that I should sketch up the sweater pattern with some of the shimmery paint from Van Gogh. Jeff Bridges actually held a speech when John Goodman got a star on Hollywood Boulevard, where all the famous actors get a star on the pavement. And then he took a scene from The Big Lebowski where they're burying Danny. He's getting cremated, so they would like to throw his ashes out in the bosom of the Pacific Ocean. And Jeff Bridges took up this sweater. He was allowed to keep it as a souvenir when they stopped shooting the movie and was finished with the movie The Big Lebowski. And for all those years, he has kept it. And then he took it out, put it on, and started his speech, built up by Donnie's funeral speech. And it just cracked me up. It was one of those, like really, really fun moments for, if you like me, enjoy this movie and then seeing a prank build up around it later on in life. And John Goodman just totally cracked up when Jeff Bridges, he started the speech, because it's a very generic speech starting with Donnie was a well-loved man, a man of the world. And you could just see when he said the first sentence that John Goodman immediately knew what was going on. So, okay, this is the dude sweater. I'm leaving a space up here to write the dude, his dudeness sweater or something. I don't know yet what to write. It's very small. Oh my gosh. It's a bit of a shame. I'm finally going to paint something and uploaded it, and then I'm choosing these very, very small things to sketch and paint. But hopefully you will forgive me. I'm using the Mission Gold yummy, yummy, yummy paint. They're so pigmented. You just have to dip the tip of your brush, and then it just goes on and on and on. It's like very, very nice to work with. The paper that comes in this journal is okay for wet media. Got some weight behind the sheets, so in a way it's like it's sized with something, because it doesn't just soak up the pigment. I'm able to move the pigment around. I'm not so much able to lift if I do a mistake, but in wet condition I am able to move it around, so it's not like, unsized, inexpensive journal paper where once your brush hit the paper, it just stays put, like not going anywhere. That is so annoying to work with papers like that. especially if you're used to a painting style where you first drop in, like I did here, first deposit some pigment and then count on coming back with a wet brush to disperse it on the page, then you really think that it's annoying to work on homemade watercolor paper without any sizing. But I see that a lot of people are like tea dyeing their own papers and whatnot and making their own papers, and it's totally cool. But if you want to use any sort of wet medium on top of them and you desire some sort of sizing so you're able to move your paint around, you can make your own sizing by dissolving gelatin into hot, not like boiling, but semi-hot, more than lukewarm hot water. And then you can coat your pages with a brush in that gelatin, and then it will prevent water to soak in immediately. It's not going to make it waterproof. It's not like it's a resist. It's not that strong, but it will give some sort of open room for applying wet medium and not just immediately soak into the paper. Okay, I think I'm just gonna paint the book brown. Ugh, and here I'm doing a sloppy job. Oh no. The talk about lifting I just did. As you can see, I can lift off and start all over again. Okay, I want to go in with some of the Van Gogh shimmery paint. This is just a tile from a bathroom or something. The palette from Janet doesn't come with a mixing area, and since I like to mix on porcelain, but I am not good at having porcelain in various trays in my craft area, I like to just pick up these tiles. You can stack them. They don't take up much space. And you can also let the paint dry on those tiles in case you're getting interrupted in your work. Oh, it's still too wet. Okay, I need to wait a little bit. No, I can hit it with a heat gun. Okay, now I tried it. So let's see if I can go in with, not on every pattern of this, but just some of the pattern. Go in and lighten it up a little bit. I also dig out my new gel roll pens, because I got this set that got like a black and a white and a silver. So I was thinking I would try and use the black one for the outlining of what I'm drawing here. And oh man, if it's as creamy as the white, I'm gonna love it to sketch with. Okay, I like this. And then maybe some here. Okay, this one over here is also dried up, so I can come in with the black on the handle, and then with the white gel pen maybe make a highlight. It's so liberating not following traditional watercolor rules where the white of the paper is supposed to be your highlights, you can just go in with a gel roll, feeling like a cheater. So it just frees you up when you can cover whole areas with pigment, not having to worry about leaving out some places for a highlight, because it gives a better spread of the pigment if you have to make like a wash. So I'm kind of enjoying that I chose to not be so strict about the traditional painting style. Hopefully you're allowed to come with statements like this during a watercolor month. But I think people understand when I'm saying that we are painting for fun, and when you're in a learning curve, you tend to follow rules because you're looking up to artists that are people you admire and you see their style, so you think that if I try and stick to the same ground rules as they are using, then maybe in time I can improve my skills. So that's why I've been like what do we call them, what's the word for it, you know, oh, they have a special name. I saw it in a chat recently when Lindsay was streaming. They were called, oh, now I forgot. Isn't it typical? I'm just tired. Blame it on the heat. Yeah, the black gel roll is pretty easy to apply. And I'm not even doing it in long strokes. I'm just trying to have some broken up lines, just because I want to keep that sketching look. Oh, that's my bowling bag. I think I should from now on think of it as my outdoor sketching bag. It felt so good. It felt so good ripping it up and knowing that, you know, I'm not gonna have any regret. Just do it. And I even managed to spit on my artwork. It really felt good. Opening it up, knowing how much that I would find joy in having an unusual traveling bag. And by the way, look at how I can just put water back into this paper without creating drastic blooms. Like here I'm adding more water to the edge of my shadow and I don't get a background of pigments. So this paper got some pro and cons depending on how you look at it. But as a wet media work surface for just private sketches that you're not gonna sell or make prints of to sell or anything like that, it's just perfect. I'm definitely going to rebuy this kind of booklet when it's filled out. I found it on Amazon. Where else? I mean, all my stuff seems at the moment to be found at Amazon. That's one thing that COVID have done in my world. It is to become more and more dependent on Amazon as my pusher for things, because I had this feeling about supporting local stores and stuff like that, and then all the stores closed down, so I had to find where to go online, and then most of Danish online stores don't really carry the same supply. So now it's just, if there's something that I'm looking for, I just instantly just search for it on Amazon. Isn't it crazy? Like before I had a different shopping behavior where I would first see if I can get it in some sort of Danish store, but now I don't even know where things are coming from. Sometimes I get really surprised when I get notes from the custom, and then apparently the pen or the book or something crazy that I found on Amazon is delivered from Asia or something. That really bothers me, you know, because it's like unnecessary spending because we have to pay a fee to the custom service. But it's very not transparent when I shop where things are shipped from, and that's really, really annoying. I don't know if it's the same with Amazon CO in the US or other countries, but I really missed a feature saying which country it's been shipped from. I wish that you could actually select not to see items from, let's say in my case, outside of EU, because then I would avoid those nasty extra charges on my purchase. I'm just trying to paint in some sort of burnt sienna background, because otherwise the back and the book is just floating in the air. So I'm thinking I'm just going in with a wet wash. Nothing special. I like using watercolors with sketching. I think it's also because it's so easy to clean up compared to if I had to take out markers or a different medium, pencils, opening up a big coloring pencil set on the table. It's just so easy to opening up a watercolor palette and then a brush and some water. I think it's a matter of habit. Yay! Now I just need to write the journal about it, find something to cut out and put in this. But you know what, guys, this has been really a long upload, so I think that I should just end it now, and hopefully I will come back in the end of this month and show you more about my progress in this journal. I talked about in my previous stream that I hopefully will be able to fill out 2 signatures in this book. I got 1 signature done, so, and it's like the 16th of July, so maybe with luck I got this signature also worked thoroughly through maybe half of it for my last Watercolor Month July stream. But thanks for watching, and see you out there. Bye bye.